Hi, my name's Dee, and welcome to Sunchild Tarot, and welcome to your new moon reading for the sign in the title below. Because it's a bulk introduction, which you don't have to watch every time, because I would say you really want to watch three of these. You want to watch your sun sign, which is the I am, your rising sign, which is how you are presenting to the world, what is happening in the outer world for you, and you want to watch your moon sign because, of course, it's the moon. It's a new moon. Of course, your moon sign would be relevant. Now, I'm not going to go in for long about the astrology of the new moon. There are plenty of astrologers who have done it far better than I ever could, and all of their shows are posted on my Facebook page for this channel, which link down below in the description. So if you're wanting to know about the astrology of it, you have plenty of astrologers to choose from on there. Suffice to say, it's big. It's a big full moon. There is a stellium in Aquarius. So what have we got? We've got Sun, Moon, Mercury, Venus, Jupiter, and Saturn, with Saturn ruling, in Aquarius. Now, it is not the age of Aquarius. I don't care what various people say. It is not the age of Aquarius, and as I've said before, the age of Aquarius will not begin until tropical, i.e. Western traditional 0 degrees Aries, is the same position as sidereal Aquarius. At the moment, it isn't. 0 degrees Aries is sidereally some of 22, 21, 22, maybe 23 degrees Pisces. So there's a while yet. I think that's right. I think it's there's a 22 involved in there somewhere. But anyway, it's in Pisces. It is not in Aquarius. However, this is a really big time of Aquarius, and there's no shaking that. We have numerous planetary synodic cycles starting. Let me bring my details up. So we've got just this week alone, and there's been a fair amount over the past few weeks, but just this week alone, I mean, bear in mind, this is all under the Great Conjunction. But we have a new Venus-Saturn cycle starting. Obviously, a new Sun-Moon, but that's a monthly one. A new Sun-Mercury, that's quite frequent. A Venus-Jupiter synodic cycle starting, Mercury-Venus cycle, and Mercury-Jupiter. So, it's very much, this is a new time coming in. Without a shadow of a doubt, there's all these new, some of those were that's all a lot of the personal planets, the inner planets. So they're small cycles, but we've just had all the massive big cycles, Jupiter, Pluto, Saturn, Jupiter, Jupiter, Saturn, I should say, Saturn, Pluto as well. So we know they all restarted before Christmas. Before Christmas? I think they were all before Christmas. I should know that off by heart, shouldn't I? I talked about every single one of them. Now, there is a timestamp below, so you don't have to watch this repeatedly. You only have to watch this on the first reading. It's well worth it. What I want to look at is the angels, the degree angels. Now, I never thought I'd going to be an angel person. But the degree angels are the Kabbalistic angels, who are very traditional, mighty and terrible. So, of course, I'm drawn to them like a moth to a flame. Now, this new moon, 23 degrees Aquarius, that's ruled by Menadel, who most people will be glad to know that he's great for job seeking. So if the economy and the virus and all the economy crash and what have you has affected you, now is a great time to ask for some help in job seeking and redesigning what you want to do next, because that's a lot of this Aquarius stuff. It will exhibit in community with an independent streak, which may sound like a bit of an oxymoron, but I think I've got my head around that idea. Um, so you, a lot of it is internal right now that you will be later putting into practice. But that is, so Menadel, let me bring up my details here. You'll have to forgive me, I am referring to notes. I don't know all this off by heart. Menadel, as a degree angel, is seen as fearless and presiding over inner and outer work. And there's definitely this theme of the inner and the outer work going on with everything, everything that I've been looking at to do with this. Now, Menadel has been active. Let's have a look. Menadel was active last March and April, which I think was, let me just double check this. I think that was Uranus. Yep, with Uranus at 5 degrees Taurus. And then there was obviously Mars arrived at 5 degrees Taurus in January. And now Menadel is ruling 23 degrees Aquarius. Those rulerships don't change. I know the way I phrase that, it makes it sound like they do change, but no, they don't change. Now, Menadel here is like everybody being ruled by Saturn, so being ruled in this case by Luvia. Saturn is the ruler of this chart. If you do rulership chains, everything leads back to Saturn, mainly because everything's in Aquarius. Of course, I'm using ancient rather than modern rulerships there. You could say everything also goes back to Uranus, but Saturn and Uranus are in square to one another anyway, and that is the flavour of this year. That tension, that tradition versus independence. Now, Luvia is all about dialing God and expansive intelligence or fruition, although I couldn't find any more information out from the Dictionary of Angels because he's not in there, or she's not in there. But what I actually want to look at is Mahasya. Now, Mahasya rules 22 degrees Capricorn. So as you know, that had a lot of activity this last year. So today, or rather on the new moon, Mahasya is ruling the North Node. So is being ruled by astrologically the angel Rael, who is representing Mercury, or Mercury's degree, but again, then in Aquarius, ruled by Saturn, therefore ruled by Luvia in this chart. Now, Rael is about removing hatred, liberation. Rael helps to remove obstacles and impediments and to live in a universe without boundaries. Now, if that is not an Aquarius flavour, I don't know what is. So that also is just that one step less abstract than what Luvia is about. Luvia literally seems like it's channeling the divine plan that down into a way that not that we can understand, because we're never going to be able to understand that, but at least that something may be able to understand it. But Marcia, as I said, was in control of 22 degrees Capricorn. So last year, that's Menadel's history I'm looking at. Last year, Pluto was there. Jupiter crossed over it. Mars crossed over it very, very briefly. And basically, Mahasya was busy going from the 1st of January last year, because that's where my records start, that I've got programmed into my database. Then it was active from the 1st of the year to the 19th of January. From the 16th of March through to the 21st, again in July for a couple of days, then 5th and the 6th, and then the 10th of July, all the way through, and this will be through Pluto, Oh no, all the way through to the end of November, again on Christmas Day, again on New Year's Eve, I notice, and then, okay, my records aren't complete, but that's what I've managed to dig out so far. Mahasi has been doing a lot of work with the energies of Pluto, with, as that energy of Pluto was deconstructing and doing what Pluto does, Mahasea was adding her flavour to it. Then Jupiter crosses over, giving that boost to the Mahasea vibration. Then Mars. So giving that kick in the pants to the things that had already been set up. And now the North Node. This has all been constructing stuff regarding our density. Well, yeah, our density, if you speak New Age hippie stuff, but our destiny. Deconstructing things, reconstructing things, building things, changing structures, removing and rebuilding structures ready for this whole new time. Now, what is Mahasea's vibration? So Mahasea is about healing and rectification, setting things right. He's a seraph. He's part of the Sephirah of Kether, so that the highest Sephiroth, and he answers to Metatron, and he's a fire, represents fire. And planetary angels are Neptune and the Sun. His name means Saviour God, apparently. So this is what everything is slowly being built up. Hopefully that's expressing in all of us and all of our lives, where this Mahasea's energy is creating, building and moving and getting us to a place that is going to be better. That's the hope. I mean, obviously, it's reliant upon our cooperation to this, with this, and our openness to it. But it is really the way his focus has shifted from smashing things to now, okay, destiny, this way, I think is really quite beautiful. Now, what other information have I got about Mahasea here? He re-establishes the order of the divine in your life, makes it possible to live in total peace and joy, and to enjoy the simple things in life, and can help you into schools of learning where you can pursue forms of initiation. Now, that peacemaking energy is going to be very, very useful, because there's also all the divisions are being highlighted to us, but they are being highlighted because of this healing process. Now, what I want to look at is the symbols for 23 degrees Aquarius. So I'm going to start with the Sabian symbol. Which is a man turning his back on passion and teaching from his own experience. So this is talking about someone who has been fighting their good fight, whatever it is, or having their obsession, and then all of a sudden they're suddenly going, I've learned so much from this, I have to pass this knowledge on. So they're transferring from, to be facile, but it would work in today's culture, from being an active social justice warrior to training active social justice warriors, would be one way of looking at it. I mean, you could replace active social justice warrior with carpenter, and oh no, that's still got that vibe, hasn't it? Okay, plumber, and it can, the message still holds true, but there's this sharing of information, this allowing those who don't know to find out and know, which I think, especially after focusing more on setting things right, we're going to need to know how to do lots and lots and lots of things. But what is really interesting is the inside degree, or the Chandra symbol. So we have a large brown bear picking and eating apples. It's like, okay, yeah, what? But the interpretation of this, I'm just going to read it straight out because you'll see why when I get towards the end of it. Gross indulgence and a conscience that just won't quit, saturating your energy field with exaggerated gestures of capitulation to your own lower nature. But you do this in a continual ironic juxtaposition to an observing intelligence and a keen conscience which deplore and have no use for your own shenanigans. So you're literally stuffing your face with chocolate while another bit of your brain is going, why are you eating all of that chocolate? It's not going to do you any good. So being split between the compulsive and addictive personality and the dispassionate and isolely removed consciousness. You're trying to turn yourself around by alternately binging and reforming, a bit like crash dieting. But each binge triggers a reaction of the other side of mind, and each renunciation and reformation in turn triggers a further reaction from the first piece of mind. This dialectic between being bad and being good is all on the pro and con level of the dualistic mind. The only hope in this pattern lies in wearing out both ends, so that a third place can open up in which neither acting out nor becoming exemplary is all that's necessary. You do what you do, and you see it the way that you see it. And all of the self-conscious overlays and each and every self-manipulation in whatever direction dissolve when the space is clear. So I know that I've mentioned on previous videos about how very divided we are in society nowadays. It doesn't matter where in the world that you look, there is divisions rampant, whether you want to say Democrat, Republican, Brexiteer, Remainer, look at Myanmar. But this energy, that symbol, that idea of wearing out both sides while we are learning how to do things better, because those who have a time to teach now are led to actually teach and teach everybody else, you know, whether it is how to get in touch with your angels and how to get in touch with God, or how to sort out a septic tank and sort out your plumbing, or carve a chair, or recycle whatever, or change the way that you're fishing, farming, hunting, what have you. All of these things, the very structure of our economy, as we know with the virus, is under question at the moment. And so there is going to be, and there is already to a certain extent, if you look at the right websites and email newsletters and what have you, a absolute cacophony of good ideas about how to move forward. All of this under the watchful eye of Luvia, who, let me see, what was the phrase again? Who has an expansive intelligence, brings things to fruition, and knows how to dial God. You know, so I would say that in itself is a superpower, you know. So if you if you are a fixed sign, oh, I've forgotten, where's my cheat sheet? Aquarius, let's have a look. I don't want to say it because I don't want to get it wrong. And it's not on my, fixed signs. Here you are, Leo, Taurus, Aquarius, or Scorpio. On a basic mundane day-to-day level, you can expect to get affected by this stellium through conjunction, through square, through opposition. But pretty much it's going to affect all of us. This is a global thing. The last time this sort of stellium in Aquarius occurred was in 1962. And we know how pivotal the 60s were for creating a shift in our society, even if things seem to have shifted back since then. So if you are familiar with your chart, if you know your rising sign, and if you don't, there is a link, well, there's two links in the description down below for where to get a free birth chart. Have a look which house Aquarius sits in for you. I use whole sign houses, if that means anything to you. So for me, it's all in the 8th house. Or if you go by my sun sign, it's all in my 12th house. Oh, I'm expecting plenty of revelations coming along. And I must admit, my astrology studies have been just going, well, my degree angel studies, let's put it that way. I keep having moment after moment of, oh, I can do it this. Oh, I didn't think of looking at that. Oh, and what does this mean if I look at this? So there's like revelation after revelation already. And the new moon isn't even here yet. But there's whichever house you Aquarius is for you, that's where you can expect quite a bit of activity. If you've got natal planets in that area, opposite to that area, or basically in the cardinal signs, that will this stellium will have an immense personal effect. And again, that all sounds like random things, but go to the link Astroseek or Cafe Astrology in the description down below, and get yourself a birth chart, and hopefully you'll make more sense of if what I'm saying sounds a little obscure, because I'll hold my hand up. I'm only just starting to understand the houses in this last 6 months. Before then, I was just like, I don't know what they're talking about. Right, so I've done the saving symbol. I'm just checking my notes. So remember, this reading is a general reading. So general reading rules apply. It should mainly be there as a confirmation for you, or just something for you to mull over. What I would, never make your mind up on what I say. Just take it under advisement and then consider it, and then make your mind up, but don't just do it because I said do it. Even though I have already done a reading for this new moon where I'm telling somebody to just do it. But, it's still your choice, not mine. Now, what I would like you to do beforehand is ask a question. So especially really with this, ask a question that relates to how you interact with your community, or relates to obviously new moon, new beginnings, or entire new directions of life, because it's such a big event. This, unlike last year where it was event after event after event, this year, this is the pretty much biggest one. And other than Saturn square Uranus, but that's going on all year. So, there isn't like a whack bang like there is with this one. So take a moment, think about all of the questions that are around you. Focus on one of them, but be aware of all of them, because the cards will answer whatever they choose, and not necessarily what you or I think are the most priority of questions. So, as ever, please do the good YouTube stuff. Hit the like button, share the video, subscribe to the channel. Subscribing to the channel really, really does help. Then again, so does the like button. But more importantly, comment. Let me know once I get to the reading, what you, if the reading is good for you. But also let me know what you think about my view of looking at the degree angels for the astrology, because, well, I'm going to keep doing it because I find it absolutely fascinating. But I want to know, should I just shut up about it and do it in private, or should I continue talking about this stuff as I get to learn more? Because, again, hold my hand up, I'm a total beginner at this. So, I think that's everything. So timestamp will be for now. And let's get on and have a look at your cards. Okay, Sagittarius. And if you are Sagittarius rising, then this is occurring in your third house. Your potential to learn something in your local neighborhood. Really like basic things learning. We're not talking about learning to degree level. We're talking about almost primary school learning. But if it's a completely new field, then we still keep going through those primary school stages later on in life. Again, for your Sagittarius sun, that would be your third solar house if you go by solar astrology. So a lot of what I'm saying may well relate to that whole neighborhood early learning vibe. However, looking at the cards, it doesn't seem to have anything to do with it. So I feel that you are reaching for the stars at the moment. You've made a choice that you made a choice to pick up a specific burden a while back, and you're now making the choice to go, no, I've got something that I'm wanting to do. Come on, camera, there we go. That's better. There's something that you are wanting to accomplish, which is not necessarily related to this burden that you've picked up in the past, which I have to ask why you picked that burden up. It may well be the right thing to do. It could be a responsibility to somebody that you care deeply about. However, there does seem to be a sense of being wounded related to that caring, almost like you're trying to fix something, or that you believe it's your responsibility for some reason. It's fine to take the responsibility on. But if you are feeling wounded by having taken that responsibility on, I'm not saying get rid of the responsibility. I am saying get rid of that wounded feeling. Because you're either doing it or you're not. There's no point doing it and feeling wounded about it. But you have an immense clarity of vision because things are going to start moving for you soon. You are already in the process of meeting up with people who are your equals, who are your peers. And you may be feeling a tad bit defensive because this Two of Wands is telling me that you're making a choice. But the fact that they're growing a beanstalk with these two wands also makes me think that there's an element of even you think your plans are a little pie in the sky. But why not? If not now, when? So and that's what I want to say. If not now, when? I do believe that it's going to open all sorts of doors for you. And this previous burden, this previous responsibility may not be disappearing. But if it doesn't disappear, that's okay. I rather feel that that's a good thing if it doesn't disappear. What you do need to disappear is this wounded feeling about it. But Spirit is bringing in an area where you can feel like an authority and a whole new beginning. We've got the Fool clarified by the Emperor. Think also that the Emperor is Aries, so you're wanting to surge straight ahead. And I believe that you can successfully surge straight ahead. We have the Ace of Wands in the final outcome here, clarified by Three of Cups. You have support of friends. Because someone else has realized that you've been doing the same thing over and over and over and over again. And all it's doing is causing either you or them or both stress and anxiety. So no wonder you've been feeling wounded by it. You need to change how you are fulfilling this previous responsibility or dump it. It's but then again with this Queen of Pentacles, I'm like thinking, is it caring for a person? It's not easy to dump caring for a person, but it should be, if you are the person who's doing that caring, you can dump the feeling wounded by the fact that you have that responsibility because you took it on board. You chose to do it, if that's what that burden is. And I'm getting this also not just from these cards here, but we have from the Moonology deck, adjustments are required. We have from the Queen of the Moon Oracle, fear. But change is coming under the three cards that under the main card from the Angelarium. 3 cards fell out, so I thought I'll take them all. And we have Matariel, the Angel of Rain. Now, Matariel, I love reading this one out. Where's the book? Matariel, no, wrong book. The Angel of Rain is implacable, is unstoppable. This is, when the rain comes, it gets everything wet. You know, there ain't no stopping the rain. There is that influence of you are going to be put into a position where you are chasing your dreams. And I don't think you feel necessarily like you are in a position to chase your dreams, even though you want to. And there's this decision that you've made to start something, but there seems to be a little voice inside you going, yeah, it's all pie in the sky. It's not this clarity that have some faith in your own vision. But be prepared that that vision is going to change. It's naturally going to change and evolve. But because I can see you coming to a time here, we've got 4 of Swords here. So there's a healing experience in leveling up, taking that Page of Pentacles, end of level, start of next level. But with this 4 of Swords, now again, healing, 4 of Swords, healing can be isolation and loneliness, but that's not what I'm getting. I'm getting rest, recuperation, healing, but more a point, healing, because we've got, and I'm convinced it's a groundhog. We've got the groundhog on the front of the card, and he's turning around at whoever's painted the card or taken the photo with a glance of, you want me to do what? Yes, we want you to do whatever that thing is. Whatever that thing is that you're scared of, that's maybe been holding you back so far, because there is victory waiting for you. I ask, when I draw these Greek myth cards, what god or goddess is looking after each sign this lunar cycle? Well, this lunar cycle for this reading, for this period of time. You got Nike. You got victory. Everything that you touch, it's not going to turn to gold, but it will be successful. And I quite feel that whatever it is that you're scared of, it's almost like there is a battle that you do not want to fight because you know you'll win. If that's true, then that's exactly a fight that you should dive into, because I don't think it's going to be quite as devastating to yourself or the other party than what you think it is. Page of Pentacles here, but it is Princess of Pentacles, but it is giving you that that level upness. So we've got, it's almost like you don't want to level up because of the consequences, but now is the time for you to level up. Now, Matariel. Matariel's touch is felt, seen and heard. Its presence is heavy, filling the air, saturating the ground. Matariel is heralded by thunder clapping through the sky, signalling change and shift. There is a great migration coming, and it arcs like lightning. The potentiality from one body is moving to another, a precarious transference, a swift communion like an arrow taking its target. Awareness is paramount for the journey. Don't try to create an outcome for your future. Be in the moment. Let the rain fall where it may. And that sort of sums up what I was feeling with it. Definitely be in the moment, but there's some fear that you need to confront, and some, like I say, guilt or wound that you need to get rid of, even if you don't get rid of the thing that you think is causing it. Because, like I say, if it's caring for another person that is not causing a wound, that is something you have chosen to do, and good for you. But if you have chosen to do it, then it's not holding you back because you chose to do it. Rather, it may be holding you back from something else, but it's not holding you back from doing the thing that you chose to do, which is this. So there's a self-defeatingness with that wound. But I love this for the final outcome card, the Ace of Wands with the Three of Cups. There is some form of plan that you've already got in action that you need to have more faith in. Because yes, that beanstalk's going up to the clouds, and yes, you're going to be walking with giants. And that's what this Seven of Wands is, especially in this deck for me. And in a couple of other decks, you are walking with giants because you are walking with your peers. Now, the final, we also have Duma, Angel of Dreams, which is telling you to chase those dreams and listen to any dreams that you have. We have the Angel of Reconciliation, let me be fully reconciled with what I have left behind. Again, talking about this wounded warrior mentality of the Nine of Wands here. They're talking about if you left it behind, you chose to leave it behind. Your choice. You did it. That's fine. Because if you hadn't, you wouldn't be where you are now. And where you are now does appear to be in a really good place if you allow it to be. And at the top, we have the Angel of Faith. I have faith that goodness and joy are mine now and forever. I mean, they're cheesy, these angel cards, but yes, have faith in your own plans. And be nice to yourself. Finally, Zadkiel, Angel of Mercy. Now, Grove. I've got a funny feeling this doesn't mean what I think it means. I should look this one up. So is it card number 21? Because to me, it is returning to a sacred place, having that little sacred space inside of you. Because why not, when you've got, rather than nursing this wound, have a sacred space there instead? It would look much nicer. So, growth. I said that you was worried about some battle that you're going to get into because you fear that you may win it, and you've got that wounded warriorness. Might not be you with the wounded warriorness. Let's have a listen to what Grove says. Now is the time to apologise to anyone you have harmed. Make your friendships whole again. We see that in that final card, whole friendships. And choose healing, Four of Swords, over anger and pain, which is maybe, so you've got, part of this is obviously making up with somebody, especially with that fear card. It's like, don't want to do it, don't want to do it, don't want to do it. But yeah, you should do it. You'll benefit from it. Choosing my beautiful Grove is a powerful sign that you are at a wondrous and strong time in your life, which we know. I mean, for how you are at the moment, surging ahead with the Chariot, having the clarity of the Ace of Swords, meeting up with your peers and building a beanstalk to the sky. So you're in a good place. It just maybe doesn't necessarily feel like it. Right, show compassion and kindness to others. No one is perfect, yet imperfection is perfect as it is. If you are hurting, know that it will pass and that I watch over you. If someone you love is hurting, take this time to be there for this person. So that might be you, that might be somebody else. The sacred grove heals all aches and pains, especially from a heart that has been wounded. It's that wounded feeling that you need to sort out. Whether it's yours or whether it's somebody else's, do what you can to sort that wounded feeling out, because you benefit from it in a big way. And in a you benefit on an emotional level, you definitely benefit on a spiritual level and on a destiny level. There's very few well, there's no pentacles actually, is there? Well, apart from there and there. So I'm not saying it will put coin in your pocket, but well, there's one there, but that's other people. But the benefits far outweigh the not doing it. So if it's something that you're fearing, do it, sort it out, resolve that argument. That's everything that I see out of there. So, yeah, go and watch your moon and rising. Hopefully they're a little more cheerful and a little less telly-offy. All right, cheers.